Hello and welcome to the Context Needed podcast. Joined today with a special guest. See if you can see her on Ollie's camera. Ollie, don't in any way... I was going to say don't in any way point her out, but here we go.
I mean, she's there. Don't point her out. Okay.
What? My name's Kyle, joined with recently 5G enabled trash man Ryan.
I'm picking up a great signal here. I'm out and about in the field, reporting today.
His location is automatically now given to Bill Gates, and anytime he masturbates, Bill Gates gets a notification.
Well, think about all that data I'm just spaffing onto the floor.
And
Bill
also
Gates wants to know where it is.
Shoot him at Shooty. Yeehaw. Ollie, how's it going?
Yeehaw. Well, very well. I'm not yet 5G enabled. I will be tomorrow.
I get 5G enabled on Wednesday morning, or at least I get my
I should have been 5G enabled. Yeah, I was gonna say it should have been last Sunday, and the installation centre basically called me and said, "Hey, we can't be bothered to wait for you to come, so we're just gonna cancel your appointment and just make you come next week instead." It's like, wow.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah. yeah. You know, in the middle of a pandemic, we really want to get this sorted, but we can't be bothered today.
We can't be bothered to open the doors for you this time. We'll just do it next week. It's
Pretty
fine.
much.
Yeah, luckily,
I
think I was saying to some of the guys at work, like, I booked mine on Wednesday at like 10 to 9, because I remember literally for the sole purpose of, I'm worried I'm going to get floored by this vaccine because I've been not very well for the past few weeks anyway. And I'm just there like, I'm not having this vaccination floor me Monday or Tuesday, because that means I'll have to miss training on Tuesday. I'd more than be happy for it to floor me Wednesday or Thursday.
You should be able to get the Pfizer, because that's what they want. And I don't know a single person who's had a negative reaction to the Pfizer. Lots who've had the negative reaction to AstraZeneca, but not the Pfizer, and that's what I'm going to go for.
They don't want to give that to people below
35, isn't it? Or 40?
So they should
so you should be all right.
The Pfizer anyway, because that's what I've had. And like I say, the only thing I've got is, what you'd get with any vaccination or like jab.
Bit of a sore arm
My
kind
arm's
of thing.
A bit sore.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, you'll get that from any injection though, won't you? So
yeah, I'm not sure about. I haven't spoken to the people in my family about what kind of vaccinations they've had. I mean, it's not really been table talk, to say the least. Oh yeah, so what vaccination did you collect today?
Which 5G supplier are you going with?
Yeah, I'm with 3.
I did see the memes about like some of the American ones, how they had there was memes happening about Pfizer, AstraZeneca, and then there was a Johnson & Johnson one, and basically people were equating the Johnson & Johnson one to like a fucking caveman or something. And it was just, some of the memes that happened were brilliant, and it didn't get any better, because one of my like favorite like YouTubers and streamers was is Hutch, and he got Johnson & Johnson. So literally all of his fan base for like a good few days just kept on sending him memes, but they were putting his face where the Johnson & Johnson one was, doing like a stupid face.
God.
It's like, fuck you guys, man. I'm vaccinated alright. It doesn't matter. Anyway, moving away from the 5G talk, we'll all be able to talk telepathically once we've got our vaccinations. Anyway,
so. Wait a second. Sorry, Bill. Yeah, no, we'll stop talking about it. Sorry. Yeah, no, we shouldn't be talking like that about it. All right. See you in a bit, babes. Bye.
Love you.
So,
love you,
Bill. Sorry, guys, my puppy is trying to lick my face. We wanted to actually talk about kind of like gaming technology and like graphics and stuff that kind of blew our fucking minds. I mean, this is stuff like a VR or shit like that. I mean, I think one of the easiest ones to go with is just, first quick question for you guys. First game that made you look at the graphics and go, holy fucking shit, this looks awesome.
Oh,
because I mean, I can very easily open up with mine. It was Final Fantasy VIII, way back when, because the opening cutscene for that has this amazing music and incredible like FMV that opens the game, and I'm just like, I remember watching that like, holy fucking shit, that looks awesome.
it probably would have been like something PS2, maybe like Metal Gear Solid 2, because obviously those cutscenes were all pre-rendered. Well, no, I think they're rendered in engine, but like, you know what I mean, like they're cinematic.
I think they're in engine, but they were cleaned up, or that because they were able to focus on what was being rendered.
Crank it up, basically. So I think that was probably the first time I ever saw graphics and kind of went, holy shit. GameCube was also quite a big jump because that had really good graphics for its time.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think the first time I played an Xbox 360, which was at Comet. Did you guys remember Comet? It was like Curry's, that kind of thing.
I remember Comet. Yeah.
It's like Vietnam flashbacks.
That's it. I remember going to Comet, and they had the 360 had just come out, and I remember they had one set up with Call of Duty 2, and that just blew me away. Even down to like how because obviously it was the first time I played a game with iron sight aiming as well.
Yeah.
But like how like fluid, because I think it was it might have been 60 FPS. I don't know. It might have actually just been a high hertz TV. I don't really know. But I just remember like thinking like, holy fuck, like this is a proper step up.
Yeah.
It probably wouldn't have even been HD at that point either.
They were usually 640.
Yeah.
Well, at most they were 1080i because they had the HD ready.
Yeah, I think a lot of I remember looking, because I remember taking the piss out of people saying they bought this fancy HD TV, and I was still on like an old CRT TV at the time, and I'm looking at the back of these like cases, and most games until near the end of the life cycle, and even then, the end of it was still mainly 720. They were only running at 640 or 720. There was very few that ran at 1080p on Xbox.
Actually, I
think there was maybe a few on PlayStation 3 because it had a bit more grunt, but even then it was like
before release.
Minecraft probably did. But that's because it's such a graphically based game.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
It was probably running at 1080i, which compared to, because, I remember playing... At this point, I'd had an Xbox for a while, and I remember playing the Call of Duty 4 beta on our big CRT TV in the living room. So, like, the
TVs that were wider than they were longer kind of thing.
Yeah, basically. But it was probably a case of I... played it on probably like on component cable HDTV in Curry's, which is why it looked so good.
Yeah.
And then I remember when I first got a HD ready TV, so I could plug it in with the component cables, and the difference was just like, holy fuck.
Yeah. So what about you, Ryan? What was yours?
Those bet you can't bust a nut in 5 minutes porn games on Pornhub. Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. The graphics are just a whole other world.
Don't you mean twoadultflashgames.com? I still remember some of these old sites.
You won't be able to control yourself, and you'll bust a nut in 5 minutes to this big.
5 minutes? It's like 5. The adverts I keep seeing are, you won't last 30 seconds playing this game. And it's like, well, why would I play it then?
Graphical wise, I mean, I've not really been. I can't really say like impressed. I can't really think of anything where I've kind of gone, "Oh, that looks amazing." I mean, like, there's some new games which are coming out now, and I think, but they're all kind of hitting that same standard. So I'm not kind of like, "Oh, this is amazing."
Yeah.
I'd say one thing I'm disappointed with in the game recently that I've been disappointed with is the footage they gave us of the Pokemon Arceus game, where it's basically going to be like Legend of Zelda / Pokemon. And
I was going to say,
it's trash. It looks so
I've not
bad.
seen it.
And it wasn't even just that one, because then there was the Diamond and Pearl remakes, and they look like ass as well. I'm like,
yeah, they don't look
was
like.
this E3?
No,
this was before E3.
This was Pokemon, a while ago now.
They never announced Pokemon stuff on Nintendo Direct or E3. They do it on a Pokemon Direct, and then they have Nintendo.
I was going to say,
for the rest.
Because I think this is the first E3 I've actually not watched.
I've watched.
I usually watch them. I just forgot.
Yeah,
but I totally forgot that it was a thing.
I've looked at a few of the news articles, and I watched the Square Enix one mainly because I do like a lot of Square Enix games, and I was hoping for a bit more footage of Final Fantasy 16. But instead, we got a cool Guardians-looking game, but then we have this new Final Fantasy Origins game that's coming out, which looks like it's so fucking edgy. I'm worried if I touch the controller, it will cut my hands open. The fucking whole dialogue is just, we're gonna kill chaos, and it's just like it looks like a fucking PlayStation 3 game, but it's got like my friend Carl, he's played the demo and he says the combat is fucking awesome, but it's got Tetsuya Nomura's hands in it, so of course there's loads of the darkness, all this kind of bullshit. And I'm just saying, like, I'm not interested. I don't want to pay money that Tetsuya Nomura's made, kind of thing, because he's just pissing me off. And then there was some more stuff about the Final Fantasy VII remake again, which another one that pissed me off because of Tetsuya Nomura. But yeah, there's. I didn't look at the Xbox one, which I know I should do, because apparently that one's got some pretty cool stuff.
Well, it looks like I saw a brief clip of some gameplay of Halo Infinite, and I didn't realise that they'd released more on that, so I need to watch that at some point to see what the deal is with that.
Yeah, that's not one I've never been interested in personally, but I know you're a big Halo fan.
Oh, yeah, I was a big Halo fan. But Elden Ring, holy fuck, that looks good.
Everyone's going hype for Elden Ring, and I understand why, because I know
it's Dark Souls with additional writing from fucking George R.R. Martin, and Dark Souls already was fucking brilliant.
He finished all of his work for Elden Ring like 3 years ago.
Yeah,
he literally came out of an interview and said, "Yeah, I've not done anything for them for like 2 or 3 years," because he finished so long ago. But I understand why people are getting hyped for that, and it does look like a good game, but it's just, for me, again,
it's not one of yours.
I've never been a Dark Souls fan. If a friend was playing it when I was around his house, I'd probably have a go, but it's not one that I'd go out to get, kind of thing.
I wasn't like the kind of person that played them from the start. My first Dark Souls was actually the last Dark Souls 3, and then I retroactively played the others. And yeah, they're like, it's a game that I never really thought I would have liked until I think I watched Game Grumps play it, and I thought, actually, yeah, this looks all right. Tried it, and yeah, it's really good. Holy shit, Elden Ring looks good.
So I enjoy watching people play the Dark Souls series, and I liked
not play it.
Yeah, I liked playing Sekiro, because when I played Sekiro, even though it's a tough as nails game, I felt like I had more agency in the failures that were happening, whereas in Dark Souls, when I look at it, it looks like a lot of it is sometimes just cheap deaths, which annoys me, whereas pretty much
once, usually.
Yeah, but every single death that happened to me in Sekiro, I knew why I died. I knew I missed the block.
I know what you're
saying.
saying.
Didn't dodge, I didn't do this kind of thing, and it's the same with Neo. There's the Team Ninja Koei Tecmo, basically Japanese Souls-like, where you play as William, the British samurai. I enjoyed that one mainly because it's got a more action-style combat system, but it still has the difficulty of like the Dark Souls games, and that one's kind of similar, where it's like I was overzealous in a combo and I got hit and that's why I died, kind of thing. So I do enjoy those ones, and I have said to people like on stream, if we get enough subscribers where we can unlock another emote to have like a Neo emote, then I will play Dark Souls or Bloodborne on stream as like a thank you for the subscriptions kind of thing. But that's probably the only way I'm going to play those games.
Yeah, I don't blame. I think with Dark Souls, I think there's a lot of things in Dark Souls that will, going in your first time, they will kill you and it'll feel cheap. But I think that's kind of the idea of Dark Souls, and that something will kill you and it's like, right, but now you know it's there.
Yeah.
Because it is a game. It's like, no one going into Dark Souls fresh will go through it without dying a fucking lot.
Yeah.
It just kind of comes with the territory, I think.
Yeah. They should. I think Ryan needs to see if there's like a Minecraft Dark Souls mod, so we can get him to play that and just see how he handles that.
He probably is, actually.
I'm a pro Minecrafter guy, so what we've.
But are you a pro Dark Soulser?
Yeah, that's the thing.
No, but my pro Minecraft skills will hopefully go across.
See you through.
Dark Souls is one of those games where I know I'd fucking rage, and I value my equipment more than my thing, because I think I'd properly rage at Dark Souls.
See, I used to rage at games like that so much. I'm glad I try not to anymore.
Was talking about like E3 though and stuff. It's like I've not watched that since secondary school. I've not watched like any of the big full presentations since then. The only things I've watched from this year.
You watched the Nintendo Direct stuff a lot. I know that.
I watched the Nintendo Direct stuff, mainly Pokemon Direct, so I can watch them rub their balls in my face.
Speaking of which, have they announced anything on the sequel to Breath of the Wild yet?
They did. They put some out
gameplay.
On the Nintendo. Yeah. Well,
there was some
gameplay, like a little. It's like literally like a few clips.
A peek, yeah.
It's not like you don't see an actual person playing through the game, but it's like there's bits of gameplay in the trailer.
Clips,
kind of thing.
To be honest, I expect it's going to play very similar to Breath of the Wild. Zelda's never been one to violently change.
Still not finished.
Have you not finished Breath of the Wild?
I haven't finished Breath of the Wild, no.
Oh, man. To be honest, it's worth also playing the old N64 ones because they're still really good.
I've got some of them.
I've got them. I've got both the N64 ones and an N64 still.
We every time we talk about Zelda, we always go into those old ones, and it's one of those things where
they've stood the test of time.
I tried playing them, and I'm not a fan of them personally, but I do really like Breath of the Wild, and I'm very hyped for the sequel.
The sequel.
I completed the remake they did of like one of the first ones, the
Ocarina of Time.
No, the egg. The egg at the top of the hill.
Was that one like the Nintendo ones? But obviously, they're all the handheld ones.
Oh yeah, the PlayStation exclusive one. Yes.
Yeah. No, you know what I mean.
Link's Awakening.
Yeah, it's one. That's one of the old handheld ones.
It's an old handheld one because I've got the original game as well, but I completed that on the remake they did for Switch. That was that actually was a game where I was impressed with the graphics. Because it's the cell shading, the like lighting they got on it was fucking gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I mean,
but like I say, the only things I've really watched from this E3 are the Battlefield one.
I watched that and I was underwhelmed personally.
I was like, it just looks like it's like Battlefield 4 2. Because they just added, it's as if it could just be DLC to Battlefield 4, in my opinion.
The way I'm
I can't say I'm very hyped for it.
The way I'm seeing it personally, and it's been bothering me since I'd say probably Battlefield 4, even though I never properly played it. All they're trying to do is go bigger, grander, crazier, over the top, and have all this crazy shit happen in the map. When I don't care about that, I prefer the calculated chaos where I have agency in what is happening. It's the thing that pisses me off most. I fucking hate how, this building's going to fall over at an arbitrary time in the game. Not because we did something to make it fall over. Like I was talking to Musgrave about this, and I was saying to him, what I would much more prefer is, say we're playing a domination map. 5 points, the middle point gets you some bonuses like an airship or something like that. The first people to take it get the airship, they get the defences, they're in the big building. The people who attack and take it, then the bombs go off or a timer goes off to blow up the building. That would be more interesting to me because it was a specific thing we did to make the building fall rather than, it's 10 minutes into the map, time for the building to fall, get out of the way.
The buildings didn't do that. It was by people destroying it.
No, not in Battlefield.
Some of them were timed.
In the Battlefield 4 beta that I played, there was a massive tower, and that tower would just fall at a random time, not because of damage to the bottom of it.
In the beta, it would. But when it came to the actual game, you could have whole games.
It was player triggered.
Because you just shoot. There's the support beams, and you need to shoot them out or blow them up for it to fall.
Yeah.
So it wasn't actually the case. It's the same with the damming stuff. It wasn't unless you shot it that it actually thing. So in the beta, it was timed, but they were
because that's what annoyed me about the beta, and it looks like with 2042, I think it's called. I mean, it's natural like Mother Nature bullshit that's happening, and it's like, well,
the fucking
how are you going to make that player
the tornado?
Yeah,
the tornado one's bollocks. Like nobody's
Yeah,
gonna
that's put me
wingsuit a
off it.
tornado.
yeah,
Fuck
and
off.
it's just like how are you going to make that?
It's gone to Call of Duty.
Yeah, 100%. I'd much more prefer.
Yeah.
Like,
I still want to go back and play Battlefield 4 because I never played Battlefield 4, and I'm definitely.
it was
much more
good. It
interested
was
in
like Battlefield 3 2, basically.
Yeah.
Like, it actually did.
much, yeah.
It felt like Battlefield 3, but just a bit more refined. Some
Yeah.
of the maps were really good on it as well.
I think the thing as
Zavod
well that's
311 was a good map.
Yeah, I think the thing as well that I find fucking hilarious about Battlefield 2042, they've only just now made it so you can change your attachments on the fly. You know, after like what Crysis did this fucking 15 years ago, 10 years ago, or however long ago it was.
A lot of
Thing
people
is,
didn't do it, though.
But that's the thing, though, Kyle. Crysis was as much as Crysis was a big game. It was never a competitor to Call of Duty and Battlefield. They were
Yeah.
still competing on their own field.
Yeah, I
Obviously,
still.
Crysis was still a good game, but
It's-
Crysis just didn't hit that FPS multiplayer shooter level that.
Well, it
those
wasn't a
two games
multiplayer
already had.
game for one. I don't think, from what I remember.
So no,
I think
the
I think there was a
Crysis
multiplayer
3,
mode.
there was
Crysis
multiplayer in
2
that, I think.
was, and Crysis 3, but they don't count because they're trash compared to the original Crysis.
Yeah, Crysis 1 was just thingy.
But I think it's the thing.
Yeah.
The thing is though, like, we should be able to have interchangeable attachments on these guns. Now, I'm not expecting to. Oh, I can change it from a fucking heavy barrel to a light barrel because that would be ridiculous. That would be like.
Well, no, you
home
could
f-
actually do that on the fly.
Yes, you can for certain guns, but
certain
even
not
then-
just like bunk. You
No.
need a toolkit and all kinds. Like,
Yeah.
it would still, all joking aside, it would still take about 5 minutes.
Well, I
Whereas
think no. The
there
AUG
are
isn't there the
quick
isn't there the Steyr org has the interchangeable barrel that is it's a one tool
It's like literally you
two trick change kind of thing. So it
There is
literally
a-
is
Yeah,
it's the
probably.
one tool clunk out, clunk back into the locking and then lock nut kind of thing from what I remember seeing. But
Yeah.
funnily enough, you can't find videos of it on YouTube anymore. Because YouTube removed them all because apparently it's modifying a firearm which they don't allow on their platform anymore. Even though it's part of the
Stupid.
functionality of the firearm is interchangeable barrels. Because
yeah,
that's one of the
YouTube's just ridiculous.
it's one of the things that I think it was a military arms channel was saying how like he used to like taking the gun down, showing you how to clean it, how to then rebuild it back up, and he's not allowed to do that because apparently it's shown as modifying a firearm, even though all he's doing is taking it apart, cleaning it, and putting it back together.
Because your YouTuber gimped in the head.
It's a bit fucking stupid, really, when you think about it. It's like just not going back to.
Oh, sorry,
E3
car alarm's going off. 1 second.
No worries. But yeah, just going back to E3, how you were saying that you was never you watched it like in secondary school and that was it. For me, it was much more of a. It was kind of ingrained in everything I did because it was always there was me and my friend Carl. We'd do it because it always used to be like one main night, so we'd spend that entire night up to like 3 a.m. watching everything, and we used to like rate all of them. And I remember when we it was back in university, we'd watch it a lot because we used to live together at one point, and then he'd come round and watch them, and there was one year I remember we lost our shit because they properly unveiled Kingdom Hearts 3, which we'd already been waiting like 5 or 6 years for.
God, that was disappointing.
Well, when it was
It turned out to
unveiled,
not be great.
oh yeah, it's crap now, and it pisses me off because of how much hype I had for it and how much hype he had for it. But
Yeah,
I remember that
yeah.
E3, when it was shown with like target gameplay, because it wasn't really official gameplay, we lost our shit. We absolutely lost our
Yeah.
shit at that. And I remember, I think it was the year after, it was Square Enix or PlayStation. I didn't know if Square Enix did their own show at this point, and everything cut to black. And this weird like glowy essence came across, and one note started playing on the screen, and I just remembered saying to Carl, "That's Final Fantasy VII." And then it started playing Aerith theme, and that's when they unveiled the Final Fantasy VII remake, and we lost our shit again at that. It was just like another one we lost our shit at E3, and then got pissed off at the actual release.
Yeah, say the only other thing from this year that I've looked at is Stalker.
Stalker does
Oh,
look
man.
interesting.
Oh, my
Oh
pants
my
were moist. My pants were moist.
Oh, yeah, I'm.
I've heard. No, I don't know the story of Stalker. Obviously, I've never played the Stalker games, but I've heard there's rumors that basically the guy you played in the original Stalkers is now the bad guy in this Stalker, apparently, or something like that, is from what I've heard.
Don't know.
Which is always interesting when they try that.
I don't really play it for the story. Like I just like Stalker for Stalker.
It's the experience of
It's
it
the
more
vibe.
than it sounds daft. It's almost kind of like what DayZ was like, but way before DayZ. In a kind of, I mean, that's a very loose comparison.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. It's the vibe of it, kind of thing.
Think DayZ mod mixed with like Glory Days Fallout, and sprinkle it with like a Russian veneer, with a lot of charm and a lot of jank, and it was very. To be honest, if you buy it on Steam now and play the vanilla game, I am totally happy to say it is utter toilet. It is not a good game, but with a couple mods to fix a few issues, it's a very good game. It's basically it's a diamond in the rough. It's got stupid things like RNG based accuracy, so sometimes bullets can literally leave the barrel at like a 45-degree angle somehow, and like dumb shit like that. But it's got a lot of charm and a lot of atmosphere. Basically, like the world building is sublime.
It's one of those games where I've always meant to kind of go back and try it out, and I just never have, because I know that's a game which has that same kind of this is fucking awesome for a lot of people. Continuing with that this is fucking awesome vibe, and especially the technology of games going forward. So I've just finished playing the new Ratchet and Clank, and honestly, fucking awesome. But I think one of the coolest things, which I genuinely thought when PlayStation unveiled it and people were talking about it would be a gimmick, was the controller with the like resistive triggers. Genuinely thought that was going to be a big gimmick. Honestly, one of the coolest things in that game. Actually,
resistive triggers. Yeah, I was gonna say, because I remember the Xbox One had the haptic triggers.
They have the feedback with the vibrations, which is cool for like racing
but
games
no,
but no
resistance.
This is like fully resistive triggers where. I mean, the first one you get is called the burst pistol. When you lightly press, it literally has like a break point, like a trigger.
Yeah, it feels like it actually like clicks on a sear.
Click past that first trigger, and you'll do a slow firing accurate mode. But there'll be a second stage trigger, which is another break point where you can go all the way down, and it goes into like fast firing mode. And they have that for quite a few for like a handful of the weapons, where like there's a double barrel shotgun. Pulling past the one trigger gives you the one barrel. Pulling all the way through gives you both barrels, kind of thing.
That's very cool. That sounds very good.
Cool. It's not gonna lie. I'd fucking hate that.
Honestly,
no, I'd love it.
It's honestly, at first I thought it was going to be really annoying, because it was like, oh well, I'm just going to end up going all the way through. The amount of resistance they have in it is actually quite a few pounds of pressure. So it's very easy to actually like rest on the break point for some of these weapons. Because, like, I was worried that I'm really heavy-handed, I'm just not going to feel it properly, and it works really well. There's a sniper in it where if you pull the trigger all the way down, it just goes into aim mode. Half pull it, and it puts it into slow motion. And there's, like, rocket boots you can use. You have to pull the left trigger to, like, basically do, like, a skating motion to speed up, but it has like a resistance throughout it, like you're trying to push against rocket boots kind of thing. And honestly, like, I was not expecting it to be as interesting and as well done as it is. The only drawback with it is it fucking drains your batteries so quick in the controller.
I bet it does,
like, the batteries don't last even, I'd say, 4 or 5 hours before it's like, yeah, you need to charge these again, bro.
Didn't the Call of Duty use it?
Call of Duty
they use the same like software, the same hardware function, but they use it for like a different format and the guns. And
they have like it so it's like a so like he was actually pulling a trigger, but then as well, I think on the fully auto ones, it kicks the trigger basically, so like you're feeling the recoil.
Feedback. Yeah.
Which a lot of people have said like is awesome in the single player, but obviously when you're playing the multiplayer, pretty much everyone turns it off because you're playing a competitive multiplayer. You don't want any like resistance on things, so that's understandable for things like that, having it turned off. But for me, who's more about like immersion in the game and all that kind of stuff, it works so well, and I'm incredibly interested to see how they use the controller going forward, because it's not just the triggers, but the controller can literally like vibrate in very, very specific ways, so it literally feels like rain on the controller. So if you stood in rain, it feels like it's vibrating at different points of the controller, and
waiting for the porn games, like.
Oh god, it's one game I need to get Becky to play as Astro Boy. It's the game that comes with the PlayStation, which is pretty much just, we're going to show you all the cool shit you can do with this controller. Take note, kind of thing. And I just want to get Becky to play it because of how much just the fucking controller immerses you. The only thing I can think of that does it one step better is like actual fucking VR, which is, let's face it, another technology which is just fucking mind-blowing at this point.
And do you know what we made? VR chat. Oh, we were going through the archives of VR chat videos of Ugandan Knuckles.
Ugandan
we sat
Knuckles
there.
tribe.
I was showing. So obviously the two new lads at work are both Nigerian, and we're showing them Ugandan Knuckles, and they're fucking pissing themselves. But I showed them, like, there's one of our lads who started working with us, who's, again, he's a I don't know where he's like his like thing from, but he's a black guy, and one of the bosses at our place said, "Has anyone told you look like Jamie Foxx?" So now what we keep doing in between me and the other guys is I keep going, "Have you ever seen Captain Phillips?" And they'll turn around and go, "Look at me, I am the captain now."
Look at me.
But yeah, we were going through VR chat stuff, and I was showing them Ugandan Knuckles and like all the shit that came from that. But that was from VR, and it's like, this is this amazing technology, and we were just like, "Hey, yo, let's just fucking meme this shit."
The VR chat was basically fucking like Gary's Mod RP with no moderation in VR.
Well, they started doing some really good like development.
It's what considering. Yeah, there's actually like quite impressive stuff that people have done on it. But
so
like,
you start building like the Sword Art Online world in there.
There's a guy on YouTube that's been building that.
that's
like
cool.
In the Unity engine, I think I've been watching him do it.
Yeah, that's what Thingy is anyway. It's
yeah. It uses a lot of these kinds of games use Unity, especially in VR, just because it's fairly easy to work in, and as well you can just go and buy assets if you can't be bothered to build your own assets, because building assets takes time. I'll just go buy them instead. It's a lot easier to get assets for the Unity engine than it is for Unreal Engine, because I think you have to like, there's a lot more cost involved, I think, with the Unreal Engine from what I remember.
Yeah, Unreal's like as much. Well, they're both just as big as each other, to be honest, at this point. But Unreal's probably a little bit more laid out.
Unreal is definitely more of a AAA engine compared to Unity.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what would be cool with VR going. Oh, go on, Ollie. Sorry, go on.
I was just gonna say, like, you could. I feel like Unity's good in that it seems to have a lot of variety in what you can make out of it, but like the overall quality is never quite as good. Whereas Unreal's kind of the other way around, where the kind of games that tend to come out of it, there's not quite as much variety, but they're always gorgeous and play very well.
I think that's the joy of Unity, though.
Like, the craziness.
Phasmophobia.
The freedom.
It's just jank as fuck. It looks shit.
It's
funny.
Kerbal Space Program's Unity.
Yeah.
I mean, with the technologies, again, briefly, I think one thing that would be awesome is if people who create VR headsets, like, say, the Steam Index, could implement stuff like what the PlayStation 5 controller has into the hands. So imagine
Vibrate your face.
So imagine like not on the face, that would feel fucking weird. Imagine a porn VR game with a vibrating fucking face mask and she sits on your face and it's just
It would just be so irritating.
It starts compressing your head. It's like it simulates the ass on your face.
It just tightens the head straps.
And it pulls a mask over your mouth.
I was gonna say Half-Life Alex, and you. I'll say like Half-Life Alex, you get a head crab on you, and it just starts like vibrating. Like no.
But I think like with like the controllers, because like I know Steam Index, they don't use like triggers or anything for grabbing stuff. It's all by sensors, which is really cool. So they would just need literally like haptic feedback in the actual kind of controllers kind of thing. But I'm thinking like,
was it someone doing a glove?
There are people trying to make gloves where basically when you grab stuff, it will actually resist based off of the shape. But the issue is how they do it, the implementation and all that. Because obviously, if you're going to be playing games where especially VR games, you've already got a fucking toaster on your forehead. So it needs to be able to be worn for hours at a time, and that's the difficulty they're having. Because
I think it was. Go on.
No, you carry on.
I think there's a lag as well because I speak and then you guys are kind of staring at me for like 2 seconds and then
there
reply.
is
What I was going to say was I think it's probably me, but I think the haptic gloves, I want to say they were pneumatic using compressed air, I think, or something like that.
I've seen ones which use compressed air, and I've seen some that use like a cabling kind of style, where basically the cable goes through parts of the glove across the knuckles, and it can basically pull specific knuckles kind of thing. But the issue with that is the glove part's fine, but it has to have kind of like servos and stuff on your wrist up here to move these cables, and obviously that adds extra weight onto your arms. So there's
a lot of bulk.
Yeah, it'll be awesome like when that kind of stuff happens. I mean, let's face it, we're all just fucking waiting for Sword Art Online full dive technology to happen, so we can escape into the VR world and never fucking return to this shit show of a world. But you know,
upload me to the internet, bro.
Upload me to the world of anime titties. I think Ollie has well and truly had some connection issues. He's
he's flicking about.
I can still hear you guys.
You keep like freezing and flicking about on our side.
You're like phasing, like whenever you do your chair, like you go to one side, then and
then you'll appear on the other side, like ninjutsu style.
I was gonna say, I'm thinking like the instant translocation sound of Dragon Ball Z, like the.
Yeah, I
can hear you guys fine.
With the games like technology, it's like how much further can we really go until we are hitting full dive? Really now, though, it's like 8K and all that. It's like
photorealism.
Photorealism will be a thing because obviously photogrammetry, especially now, has a lot more space in games. Photogrammetry's been a thing through games for. Probably since back around the Doom days it was being used, but they're able to use a lot more high-resolution textures from photogrammetry to make environments look photorealistic because it is actual photos of that environment. There's a game, I think, that got released recently which had like a few screenshots of the environment that looked real because of the amount of photogrammetry data they were able to use in the screenshots. I think there's that will be used.
Nothing beats photorealistic texture packs on Minecraft. They're my favourite texture packs.
There will be
doesn't
better.
Doesn't Unreal 4 use the photogrammetry as well? I think that has the potential for it.
Every engine has the potential for photogrammetry because they'll just use it in a different way. They use basically they can use different applications to do the photogrammetry, like the one that I know of, mainly because it was one that I used to support when I worked at Dambuster, was Quixel Megascans, where literally it would just be pictures of like textures and environment and like objects and stuff, and they would just basically, you paid a subscription and you'd get a dump of just textures of all different kinds. I'm talking like the dumps of like, I think like 50 gigabyte dumps kind of thing of just all these textures, and that's one that they would use, and that would just basically be something that you would use that would then get pulled. Those textures would be pulled into Unreal or pulled into like Maya or 3ds Max, and they would be applied to 3D objects and environments from there, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I want though?
What?
I'm not bothered about the graphics being the best. Like, especially like I was saying with Pokemon games and how I'm disappointed. Why can't I want them to go back?
It depends on the
2D
game.
top down.
For
Yeah,
me.
but with the Pokemon, where it came from, 2D top down.
Oh yeah, no, that
I want them to go back to that rather than, because the 3D games, like, as much as they're impressive, they were lazy with them. And I don't know, this Arceus game, I'll probably get it to try it and see what it's like, but it's gonna have to be really good to be thingy.
it could be done well.
Yeah. What I'm worried about is performance of it. They're still having issues with the performance of the new Legend of Zelda thingy game.
Yeah, I can believe that.
The Hyrule Warriors. That one's still lagging at like 20 FPS because it's just so intensive, and the switches aren't keeping up with it. And it's like there was rumors they were going to announce the Switch Pro. We've still had nothing about that, because as much as the Switch is good, it's still got its limits, and they need more the hardware needs to be upgraded a little bit for these games that they're trying to push out.
With Nintendo, fair enough, they want to do like the people are saying Switch Pro. I think what would be much cooler is if they did something like Switch Home, where it was just like a conventional console, but it had more oomph, and it was basically the equivalent of like the PlayStation Pro to the PlayStation 4. You can still play games on both of them. The Pro has more power and is able to have higher frame rates, high fidelity, or so on and so forth. And something like that, because the thing is, they already make it in this fucking tiny thing. It would literally be something that could fucking attach to the back of your TV. That's how small this thing could be. It wouldn't be hard for them to do that, I think, and just have it just be like a home-based equivalent. At the end of the day, they've got cloud saves for people that pay the subscriptions, so you wouldn't have to worry about your save across different consoles because you just upload it. You can set it all up already. Yeah, it's the thing I have with my PlayStation. I have my PlayStation 4 and my PlayStation 5 saves all go to the cloud, and then I just pull them where I need them.
I think. Go on, Ryan.
Sorry, I was quickly. My Switch has just become like my normal Switch has literally just become a sit under my TV.
Yeah,
it's a home thing. I don't like taking it out because of the controllers on it. It just, they're just a bit loose.
Yeah.
When it's on the actual tablet per se, it just doesn't. You can't. No. It's not in your hands.
As much as the only problem with the my thingy I've got, the light, the smaller one, I can't remember what you call it.
Switch light.
The only problem with that Switch Lite is it's not got the vibration feedback, and sometimes that's quite nice to have.
Yeah.
But that is probably my favourite Nintendo console ever. And it's like they keep giving us backward compatible games, but they're not giving us the backward compatible games we want. It's like I want to be able to see the old Pokemon games all on that. Like just
the reason why they're not doing that is because of the re-releases. That's the only reason why they won't do it, because of re-releases. I think the issue
Go on.
Yeah, the issue I have with the Switch personally, at the end of the day, Nintendo kind of has the foothold on their fans. I say foothold, they have their foot on their fans' necks, because Nintendo fanboys...
That's how I like it.
I'm not going to lie, I'm sorry, like, Nintendo fanboys are some of the most fucking infuriating people when it comes to stuff at times, because they just completely forgive a lot of the shit Nintendo get away with, like stifling their own supply to make demand higher and make costs stay high, which is what they always fucking do, and it pisses me off. But also, I don't like the design of the Switch. I don't like the design at all. Not as in from a aesthetic standpoint, I mean from a fucking
function.
A functional handheld point. I could not play my Switch Lite for more than an hour without this thumb starting to ache because of the way you have to hold it. Because of the analogs. So when you play... Yeah, I've got a controller right here. So
I think that's just the design compared to yourself, though.
But no, it's the design in general. I figured it out when I was actually properly looking at it recently. When
I've never had any issues with my thumb.
Well, you're probably used to it, and your thumb's got
monkey
used
hands.
to it. But when I hold this...
Big monkey hands.
So when I hold this, obviously my hand is further down, and the buttons and the analog stick are always further away for my fingers to reach. Whereas when I was on the Switch, it was the equivalent of holding it, like, here... and having to go down and do a claw thing with my thumb to reach the analog stick, which, with Breath of the Wild, because you need to move that camera to where you're actually trying to see, I was constantly like this, trying to use it, and it just fucking started to ache and hurt. And the issue is, I use a Switch Lite. I don't think you can hook a Pro controller into the Switch Lite, so I couldn't even use the Pro controller. I think when I start playing it again, I'll be using the one that's hooked into the TV, because you've got the thing where you can plug the controllers in and have like a rudimentary controller, which seems much more comfortable. But it's just
we've got one.
Yeah, it's just it's really not designed well to limit those kinds of like aches and stuff.
No, it's not.
And fair enough, it's probably exacerbated because I'm fucking massive and not normal human size. I mean, for God's sake, the only way I was able to pick this mouse I use is by Googling what are the biggest mice that you can buy for PCs, because...
No, you haven't got a mouse, you got a rat.
Well, it's like, I bought the G502 from Logitech, not because it's a good mouse, but because it was a big mouse that wouldn't hurt my hands using it.
It's not a rat, that's a small dog, that's like a chihuahua or something.
Yeah. But yeah, I do
I was going to say...
Oh, go on, sorry, dude.
Go on. No, I was going to say, because it's a bit of a tangent, so go on.
I was just going to reiterate my point, so you go for it.
Well, I was going to say, I think the problem is Nintendo are kind of almost... They're holding on to this, but we need to keep it handheld. And not only are they limiting themselves, because in order to be handheld, they have to massively restrict what they could do hardware-wise. And don't get me wrong, I think it's impressive that they managed to make a handheld console that's, full HD capable.
Yeah.
But it's like...
I give them props for that, 100%.
Yeah, but if you want... Let's be honest, the kind of standard for handheld now is mobiles.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And... no one wants a handheld console anymore. No, as you said, no one is going out and taking their Switch, really, or not many people. Everyone, it's under their TV and they're playing it at home.
I think
Nintendo need to go back to...
Sorry, go on. I'm saying I was
going to say they need to go back to their formula of just make a fucking console and then maybe make a little handheld on the side, like back in the day of the Game Boy and the N64 or Game Boy...
I think
Advanced and the GameCube. They need to just accept that one is going to be more powerful and one is going to be the little one.
Yeah, I think in places like America and Japan, handhelds are used a lot more, mainly because obviously in America there's larger distances, so road trips and stuff like that, they'll be used, and people do use them out and about. And I know for a fact in Japan, people use trains everywhere. So they'll sit and play them on the train with the headphones in. So they are very popular for the handheld mode, but it's just, like you said, they're limiting themselves hardware-wise because they're having to make it all fit into this form factor. But also, they have stringent laws they have to follow based off of heat dissipation, because you're not allowed, if you've got a laptop or a handheld or a phone, under heavy load, the surface of that device is not allowed to go above a certain degree, and if it does, it doesn't pass the safety laws and the safety specifications, and you have to go back and redesign. That's why there's a video that Linus Tech Tips did where there was the new M1 Mac Air obviously doesn't have a fan in it, it's all just done by heat dissipation. And they found, when they opened it up, there was the heat plate it dissipates the heat to isn't actually physically connected to the chassis of the bottom of the laptop. So they did a thermal pad there to dissipate all the heat from the heat plate into the chassis of the laptop as well. and they saw amazing temperature results, but it would have breached the laws, and that's why Mac didn't do it, because it would have put it over the comfortable heat regulations or whatever it's called, and that's what Nintendo's having to follow. Whereas if they just made, like I said, like, I don't even care about them having a Switch and a Game Boy or something like that, even if they want them to all be the same moniker, but having a more powerful home-based one just seems like a much better idea to me.
Yeah. You hit it right in the head. They need to go back to their original handheld console series, which, like, you've got the Game Boys, then you had the DSs.
See, I don't care about that formula. I don't give a shit about that.
Well, that's the thing. It's because then, for Kyle and for most people, we're not sat here buying a console, which is you're losing out on the main console aspect, and we're losing out on the handheld side of it because they want to make it a main console. There's parts of the handheld area that they're having to like limit themselves on, and then same from the console side, they're having to limit themselves on the console. They should have just done as much as the Switch is probably one of the more kind of like creative consoles. Like they've actually kind of gone, what can we do? And to do it, yeah, great, they've done it. Now they need to stop and they need to make, like you say, just another console again. They need to make something like they did when they had the GameCube. They need to be putting out things, because then if we can start getting games like Zelda, we start games like Pokemon and stuff on a proper console with some really nice specs on it, then we might actually be seeing something that's worth our time. But at the moment, it's just like they just keep releasing shit.
I think the thing is as well, like, they don't even need to make something that's going to be as like powerful as PlayStation 5 or Xbox One. It's not necessary for them, because let's face it, a lot of Nintendo titles are stylized, and that's able to get away with on less powerful hardware. Even if they were going with like around PlayStation 4 specs kind of thing, with just say faster SSDs kind of thing, like the newer consoles, just to make it so it's quicker load times and stuff, that would work really well for them. Because imagine if you could play Breath of the Wild on a PlayStation 4 Pro or an Xbox.
It's like that. Yeah. Have you seen that 8K or 4K footage of it?
Which someone got it on PC. It's just, I know they will never ever release their first party titles onto another party's consoles. I know they never will. And I understand why they won't.
But God, I wish they would.
At the end of the day, it's their first party titles. But if I could play Breath of the Wild 2 on the PlayStation 5 with the amount of power on that thing, on my big fucking OLED TV downstairs kind of thing, I would be blown away. And it wouldn't even need to be like photorealism, because that game looks fucking gorgeous in its art style.
It's just like things that your draw distance and just general clarity would just benefit it massively, and a lot of post processing as well.
The vastness of the game would really, really show on a more powerful machine and a more powerful system, because you'd be able to see, like, even if they kept the graphics like the same except for like a few like post processing bits. Think about just being able to stand on the top of one of those mountains and you can just see everything.
It's the scale of it.
Yeah, the scale of it would be phenomenal.
That's one thing that there's certain games out there that really, really do well with understanding and showing the scale. I mean, Ratchet and Clank that I recently played through, that really showed some scale. I know, like I said, Dark Souls does it a lot because it lets you see where you've come from, but I was just playing through Uncharted 4 on stream, and that's where they really started to kind of nail the scaling of things, because there was a scene that happened just before I finished on Thursday where I had to walk through this market and go through this entire market, and then I went in this massive church, climbed through a church, did a big puzzle, ended up at the very top of this church, and I literally just looked out and around, and not only could I obviously see the general backdrop of this area, but I could see the entire pathway I'd walked through to get to where I am now. And they've done that in previous levels as well. Like, there was a Scotland level where you're going around cliffs on this beachfront kind of thing, and you can, every time you get to see a vista, you get to see all the other areas you've been to previously, and Ratchet and Clank's been doing the same thing as well, and that's where that scale kind of comes in. And imagine if because that was the issue with, I'd say, Breath of the Wild. You can go all the way across these things, and then you can turn around. You can see generally where you've been from, but because the detail
sort of, you can see the shape of where you were.
Yeah, but obviously that's because of LODs. The level of detail over distance starts to
they just
deteriorate.
can't do it, can they?
Yeah, and they can't do it. But imagine if, because let's face it, if Breath of the Wild 1 came out on like PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, there wouldn't be LODs. There probably wouldn't be LODs apart from extreme distances, and you would be able to see clearly. Like I think from what I remember, Breath of the Wild, there was like a big mountaintop with a observatory, and you can go all the way down to the bottom of the mountaintop. And if you use your telescope or whatever it was, your Sheikah slate, you can zoom in and see that thing. If you weren't using it, it was just a blur. But imagine on an actual powerful console, you would be able to see all of it in detail while at the bottom, kind of thing. And that would really, really just set that scale, just like, holy shit, this world is massive, kind of thing.
Yeah, they're doing themselves a disservice at this point.
And it's same with the Pokemon games. Like what people have been asking for since Breath of the Wild is we want a Pokemon that is Breath of the Wild. And then they released the Pokemon Sword and Shield. Don't get me wrong, they weren't bad games, but they could have been a whole lot better. And I think the thing that really says it is the fact that they instead of redoing the models for the higher and better hardware, they used the same models they had for the 3DS for the monsters and for the Pokemon, except for like obviously new Pokemon and stuff, which is just like really?
They just asset flipped it.
Yeah, and I play it and I'm like, well, that texture's blurry. That's like not as like higher resolution as I'd like it to be. Like, and it's just like really cutting back on bits which they shouldn't have cut back on because it could have been such a better game. And it's like put in, and you can see they've put in features that could have been in the game from the start, like your Pokemon following you everywhere, which was in Soul Silver and Pokemon Yellow on the fucking Game Boys originally. That's
the first one I played. Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, and then they had it on Soul Silver, probably one of my favorite games because Silver was my first one. But then you can see it, like it was in there in the code from the start. Because I can remember it's like, oh, they say this Pokemon's thingy to go out with you again. They don't go out with you until you get to the DLC areas. The DLC areas were already pre-put into the game. You literally just unlock them by buying them. It's not.
That's cheap. I hate that kind of thing.
You don't actually really download anything. It's already in the game.
I've got a feeling. I remember I looked at this briefly. A lot of the time, it still sucks how they do that stuff. But I think a lot of the time, it's not all physically in the game. It's
no,
like
not all of it. Yeah,
it's like the bare bones of it, kind of integration of it, kind of thing is in there. I think there are definitely worse culprits of this. I think Street Fighter 4 was one of the worst ones, where there was basically there was DLC costumes, which it wasn't just like when you downloaded the game, they were there and you just unlocked them. No, on the disc release, all the DLC costumes were on the disc. And you literally had to pay to get a key to unlock them from the disc, and that's where it's just like,
yeah,
I've paid for this physical disc, and you're blocking part of this physical disc. Like, really? Are you really going to do me dirty like that? I think it's like, I've got a feeling with the Pokemon thing though. I mean, I haven't been a bigger fan of the Pokemon stuff since the originals, and even then, kind of thing. I was a kid; it was what was cool at the time. I've not been a fan since. I understand why people like the stuff. I've got a feeling, what's the name of the Game Freak, is it called? Developer studio?
Game Freak, yeah.
I've got a feeling they're either constantly fucking barraged by Nintendo with requests of what they actually want them to do, or they're spreading themselves way too thin on too many projects, and they're not able to really focus in and get that home run. Because everyone I spoke to who are Pokemon fans have said the exact same things as you have, Ryan, where like Soul Silver, the remakes of Silver and Gold, were the best ones, and after that it was kind of a bit shoddy here and there. And there was a friend of mine who I used to work with who he's a massive fan like you, and he fucking hated Sword and Shield because it was just, especially being a game dev himself, he saw all the shortcuts that were being used and it pissed him off. And he was like, it shouldn't be like this.
The handheld DS games were the last good games. I'd even go as far as saying as not even the 3DS games. Like, I think the auras were okay, but I compared to the original Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, they were just lacking in content. It's like you're remaking the games, but you're losing so much functionality from the originals. So my big issue is they're just, when they are doing these remakes, they're just not hitting as good since, like I say, since the remake of Soul Silver. That was the last good remake I can remember them releasing. Like, the auras were okay, but it wasn't good enough for me to be like, I actually play it and enjoy it. I was like, oh, I'm just kind of playing this for the sake of playing it. I think the last good game was X and Y, personally, when they first introduced 3D. But that was like 3D, but it was still kind of like just.
It was isometric. It was isometric still, wasn't it?
Down. They went to Sun and Moon, and Sun and Moon is more like what Sword and Shield are, and it's just like it didn't work on the DS. Even with my 3DS XL, which is the fucking biggest screen you can get for them, it's like you're just there like, this is really, like, it's fine, but it's not as good as it could have been. And I think they're trying to do the new graphics and the 3D graphics because that's what everybody wants. If they did another 2D game, I'd lap it up. I'd lap up a 2D game because I know what quality.
They should just release the original 2D games for the phones and just have it. It's not like a free game where you pay to do stuff. No, just release them on your phones for like £5. People will buy them.
You don't even need to do, like, the thing is though, is if you're really bothered about playing them on your phones, you just emulate them.
No, I know.
Loads of people emulate. And do it.
Loads of people emulate them, but I'm saying if they did official releases with official support,
everyone would purchase it.
People would buy it.
Yeah, because let's face it, Pokemon is a fucking massive thing. Loads of people love it. I mean, Becky bought Pokemon Snap just because she wants to play Pokemon Snap because she liked the original, and it's pretty much just the original on the Switch with new Pokemon. But she wanted it, kind of thing.
I've not played Pokemon Snap, and I didn't purchase or order Pokemon Snap because I can't.
Up you go.
I can't thingy 40 quid on a game where I'm just taking pictures and I'm going down. Because, like, Jacob was like, oh, the graphics are so much better on this. I said, yeah, the graphics are so much better because you're locked into one track and you go down that track and you can only look around you. It's not like...
It knows exactly what it needs to render at what points, and that's why... why track shooters and things like that always looked better, because it knows, I'm this point now, I don't need to render what's behind that hill, because you physically cannot see it.
Yeah, and you can't move back towards it because you are literally just moving in that direction.
We do need to close up, and I need to close up pretty quick because I think my dinner's going to be ready soon because she's been out, so I haven't eaten yet. But before we close, based off of the stuff we've seen recently, games-wise, what is the game you are kind of most looking forward to going forward at this moment in time?
For me, it's a split between Stalker and Elden Ring at the moment. I've not been hyped for a game for a while, but I'm pretty hyped for Stalker.
Hype for Stalker. I'm just interested to see how the new kind of Breath of the Wild Pokemon game goes.
Yeah.
I'm just interested. I'm not... If it goes good, I'll get it. But I'm just kind of waiting to see... Well, I'll probably get it anyway, but I'm just waiting to see what it actually is like. It's just curiosity.
Yeah. I think for me it's a bit... Because the game I was looking forward to literally came out last week. It was Ratchet and Clank, and I think the only game at the minute where I'm actually kind of I'm getting hyped for this, I'm kind of interested, I want to see more, is Final Fantasy 16. Mainly because it looks like they've kicked Tetsuya Nomura to the back burners. Let him do all the weird, edgy, gonna kill chaos games, and let him...
I'll kill you,
the
bitch.
game, I think the director of this one, I think his nickname's Yoshi P, but he's the guy who basically brought Final Fantasy XIV back from the death and made it into this massive, like, everyone, like, there's so many people playing Final Fantasy XIV now because of what he's done with the story and the direction and the game design and the world building and all that kind of stuff. So Final Fantasy 16 is one I'm like, I don't want to fucking see more of this shit. Come on, guys. Just a little bit more of that Final Fantasy 16. I've not had a Final Fantasy that I've been hyped for a while because of Final Fantasy 15 being a bit of a letdown, so... So yeah. Well, that's... I think we'll call it there. And we'll be back...
Yeah, well, very tired.
Yeah, well, you've been at work today, so... Your weekend starts now, doesn't it?
Nope, I'm at work tomorrow as well. My new weekends are Mondays and Tuesdays.
Oh, yeah, sorry, it's Mondays and Tuesdays, not Sundays and
I'm
Mondays.
at work tomorrow as well, so to be honest, we'll probably wrap this up. I'll probably watch a YouTube video or two and probably fall asleep.
Fair enough. Well, if you want to get in touch with us and send us the things you're looking forward to games-wise after E3 or Nintendo Direct or Nintendo Pokemon Special Edition, what we want to scam you with next, whatever they call them now.
Scam Direct.
Scam Direct. You can drop us memes or anything like that at ContextNeeded1 on Twitter. If you want to do a formal essay about your hopes and dreams for future games, if you drop us an email, contextneededuk@gmail.com, we will send you all the direct information of how to send us this letter, including things like Birds of Prey has to deliver it, has to be typewritten, and there's quite a few more stipulations in there. There is a word count, and if it doesn't reach the word count, we will just throw it straight in the trash.
Don't waste our time.
Yes, exactly. We are very busy men, as you can see by us spending an hour talking shit about games. We are very busy.
Busy all the time, man. I'm doing work right now while we're talking.
He's probably just looking at porn, let's face it.
I'm gonna go porn, yeah.
He's got that face, I can tell. But anyway, so...
Oh, yeah, no, he's... Yep.
It's
called work, boys. Don't at me.
Well, on that note, my name's Kyle. You can follow me on this Twitch channel or with Twitter on IKTOasis. Ryan, what do you want to post? Apart from porn?
Don't follow me. I don't care. That's it.
Yeah. Fuck off, don't bother me.
Don't bother me. Unless you're sending me porn or titty pics, don't bother me.
Well, where can they send you porn or titty pics, Ryan?
To my Instagram or Twitter, which is just corrupt aesthetic or corrupt_aesthetic.
He is 100% in the zone now, trying to find porn. I can just see it. Look at him. He's
Ollie
like
put in a request. Ollie put in a request, so I'm trying to find that shit.
It's like
Yeah,
you know the
say,
scene the scene from The Matrix where they're looking at the lines, and he's just like, I don't see the numbers anymore. I see redhead, girl, man. That's what Ryan is right now, looking through porn. Well, from me, Kyle, with Ryan and Ollie, we will be back next week, same time as usual. Thanks very much for watching, and thanks very much for listening.
Oh, no, I won't be back next week. I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you then.
I'm about doing stuff.
Fine, fuck
Well,
you.
I might be, I might not. I'll
No,
tell you
fuck
if
you.
I am.
Fuck you.
Oh, fuck you too.
Whatever.
Fucking monkey. I'm glad you can't use the Switch.
We'll see you guys later. Goodbye.